Hi everybody, it's Nell with Little Yellow House Crafts, and I am here for a whip update, a life update, some exciting news, general merriment. I don't know. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope Stitch Maynia is going well for those of you who are still at it. Today is Monday, May the 16th, so the original Stitch Maynia plan is finished. My Stitch Maynia plan was done a week ago, and you're going to see my update on that. But if you're still going strong, keep at it. It's been really fun to watch everybody's progress on Facebook. I have not been uploading pictures because I'm lame. And I want to apologize for those of you who follow me on Instagram. I have not posted to my stitching Instagram in 3 months. And it's not because I'm not stitching, and it's not because I don't want to. I just got out of the habit, and I don't remember to do it. And I feel really lame. I am lame. I need to get back into doing that. But I've been kind of busy with some other things that you're gonna see. And I'm contemplating a very, very, very small little business venture, possibly. I don't know. You guys are gonna help me kind of feel that out. So anyway, let's get into it. Before I show you my stitching, a little bit of a life update. Things are going well. It's a very gray, rainy day here, so I apologize. The lighting is kind of gray-white. It's just the day that it is. Hopefully everything will show up well. As for me, rehearsals are going great with the Music Man. We are about a month away from opening the show, and I think we're in pretty good shape for being a month out. We are starting to put entire acts together. Tonight we're running all of Act 1, and tomorrow we'll run all of Act 2 and kind of see how everything fits together. Up until this point, we've been working on specific scenes, lots of dance sequences, music rehearsals, so we're finally going to start putting the show together, which is exciting, and it's going well. I'm having a lot of fun, and that's the most important thing, right? That you enjoy yourself. So it's going great. And my boys are well. They haven't been feeling great the last few days. I think we had a little bug, but I think they're on the mend now. So yeah, life is carrying on much as it always does. It's busy, but it's good. So we're very blessed, and I give thanks daily for how blessed we are, but life is great. Let's talk about stitching. I have my Stitch Maynia stuff here to show you. We're gonna kind of just go in the order that I worked on them, and I'll talk about what I did. Some of them I've worked on more since their original Mania day, so I'll kind of show you what I did when. But the first thing that I did on May 1st was one of my Brooks Books Advent Animals, and I worked on Cassie Cow. If you recall, she looks like that. And I started her, and I have worked on her since that first day. So here's where she stands now. She's still in the hoop. But the actual day of May 1st, her actual Stitch Maynia day, I kind of got all of her head and her bow. And I did all of that on that first day. The body with the apron and the arms and legs, those came afterwards. I've continued to work on this. I am kind of giving these guys priority right now because I need to get them finished by the end of May to keep up with my 2 every month. So far I'm going strong on that, so I'm going to focus on Cassie, and the next one you'll see for the next week or so until I get those finished up. But that was May 1st, and she was fun, and I love her. She's so sassy. Look at her eyes. She has like one eyebrow that's up. I can't lift my eyebrow very well, but she's got this little like side smile. I don't know. She's very sassy. I like her a lot. The next one I worked on May 2nd was my second Brooks Books Advent Animal for the month of May, and that was Rascal Raccoon. And he looks like this. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this by now, but these are free patterns that you can download from brooksbookspublishing.com. I think it's .com. Brooks Books Publishing. Brooke Nolan is a cross-stitch designer. She sells cross-stitch patterns, and these were a series of freebies that she put on her website. So if you want to stitch them, that's where you can go. And here's where I got, and this is how much I did on May 2nd. I got Rascal Raccoon, this far. And kind of a funny coincidence, the evening that I worked on him, I was flipping around Netflix trying to find something to watch, and they uploaded some new movies for May, and one of the ones they uploaded is one of my favorite Cary Grant movies, and that is To Catch a Thief. And so I watched To Catch a Thief while I was stitching this little thief raccoon. I don't know, I just found that ironic and fun. I love To Catch a Thief. It's a great movie. So it has Grace Kelly in it. It's fun. And he's a little thief, so it seemed appropriate. So that was May 2nd. On May 3rd, I started kind of my seasonal starts with my springtime start. And the one I chose to work on for spring was the Rose Garden from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine, September, October of 1989. And that's what it looks like. It's very beautiful. The text says, it's a verse, Bible verse from Isaiah, and it says, "The desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose." So I started that. And here's where I got, and this, you'll see, I decided to sew some extra fabric onto my whips, kind of the way that Trisha, the left-handed stitcher, has shown in her videos, because some of them, I had enough fabric, but some of them only maybe had like 2 inches of border, and that just made me nervous, and sometimes it can be hard on Q-snaps. If you don't have enough fabric to wrap around, it can be hard to hold the tension. So I added some extra fabric on all of these, and you're going to see that. But this is where I got on the Rose Garden. So I got all of the little white trellis, and what is it? It's like a little garden bench, I think, and a little trellis, and then I started working on some of the paving stones. There's like brick paving stones that go down, they go right, they go left, and they go up. So that's where I got, you can see there's some really light colored ones down here. And that's as far as I got in that one day, but I thought that was pretty good for one evening. And I'm loving it. I'm so excited to finally have this one started, and yeah. That was May 3rd. May 4th was my summer start, and I started The Country Store by Told in a Garden. And this one I got quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit. I still just worked on it for one evening, but I was really pleased with the amount I got done. Here's my start. So in the center of the pattern, we have some bolts of fabric here. We have a pair of scissors, sewing scissors, some books, some little drawers, and the head of the shopkeeper. I'll show you so you can see she's got the bolts of fabric up by her head and the books, and then the shopkeeper's head. So that's what I got done on that one. And I'm loving this. The colors are so bold and vibrant, and they look really good on this new khaki, summer khaki, some kind of khaki. I can't remember. If you want to know, let me know and I'll look it up. But this is a Lugana, a 28 count Lugana, and I love how those colors look on this fabric. It's great. It's really fun. So that was my summer start, and that was on May 4th. For my autumn start on May 5th, I started one of my Prairie Schooler minis. This is Who's There? And I'm stitching this on 25 count Lugana, 3/2. And I think the coverage looks great. Thank you for all of you. Sorry, there's a really long thread attached. Thank you to all of you who gave me suggestions. It seemed like most people tend to stitch 3/2 on 25 count. So here's where I got to. The little house is done. Oh, sorry, there's a fold line. The little house is done, and I've started working on the border. I have changed something on this. It might be kind of hard for you to tell on this picture, but if you see the roof and then the ground under the house is a little bit lighter of a brown. And I didn't like that for 2 reasons. The first one is it's not different enough to really stand out for me. And the other reason is that none of the other 4 of these little Halloween minis has that color brown in it, that lighter brown. And that kind of bugs me, my obsessive compulsive side, that only one of the 4 has that particular color. So I went ahead and just continued with the 3371 that I used for the rest of the house for the roof, and I think it looks great. I actually prefer it. I like that it's just the 3371 all up in the roof, and I think it makes it look more like a silhouette. I'm going to use that 33... That was a pattern. Sorry. Hope none of you... If you can catch the pattern from that, you're amazing. I think the ground will also look fine in the 3371, and I'm happy with how it looks. I'm happier with it this way than I would be if I used the lighter brown. So that was Who's There. That was my May 5th start for autumn. May 6th is my winter start, and I started Sue Hillis' 'Twas the Night for May 6th, and got a fairway in that too. If you remember, I'm stitching this on the raw gold fabric, and it is so beautiful. I love it. Here's what I got. We have a saint niche and a tiny little part of the border with a few little holly berries. I know this has been said before by other people who have stitched this, but these holly berries are a bear. There's like 12 colors in this tiny little piece of stitching. All the greens, there's like 2 or 3 different kinds of colors of brown. There's, I think, 3 different greens. There's about 4 or 5 different reds, and then the 2 golds. There's a lot of color changes along the border. And I remember Carolyn Mazzio, when she was stitching this one, she did all the words first and left the border for the end. And she mentioned when she finished that she wouldn't do that if she were to do it over again. She would try to do the border as she did the words, just to make it less of a mountain to climb at the end. And I'm glad that she said that, because I totally know what she means now. That it's beautiful and I'm loving it, but there's a lot of color changes. So, you know, and the words are so simple because there's only one color. The words go super fast. Just this little piece probably took the same amount of time that all of this took. This was probably an hour and a half to 2 hours of work, and this is probably an hour and a half of work right here. So if you're planning on stitching this in the future, something to keep in mind. I still love it. I'm really happy to have it started, and I'm going to keep working on it, but I'm glad that she said that. So that was May 6th. May 7th was my lavender and lace conversion of the bride. And I have nicknamed her the Blue Bride now because I'm stitching her all in blues. If you watch my previous video, you can see the actual blues I was planning to stitch her in. And she was actually a little bit of a sad story because I stitched her on May 7th and I did a big chunk of her dress. See this lightest strip right here? I did a lot of that in that first evening, and I wasn't happy with the color. It was too light. I wanted her dress to be a real sapphire blue, and the color that I had picked to be the lightest shade in her dress was too light. It was more like an ocean blue. It was more like this color blue. Sorry. I'm reading Common Sense by Thomas Paine. I'm an American history nerd, so true confessions. Anyway, so this book is out. This is kind of the color blue it was, and it's a pretty blue, but it was too light for me. I didn't like it. So the next morning I ripped out all of that work. Probably 400 stitches would be my guess. I frogged it all out, and on May 8th I started her again. So she was started on May 7th, but I ended up ripping all that out. So this is what I did on May 8th, and I'm sorry, this is very wrinkly because this Q-snap had a grime guard on it, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But this is my restart, and the colors in this lighting are not showing up. It's looking kind of gray and washed out. Just trust me when I tell you this is a much, let me see if I can shade it. That's a little better, although that looks too dark. It's a much more vibrant blue than it's showing up here. It's very sapphire, a rich cobalt sapphire blue, and I'm much happier with this. Because I didn't like the lighter colors and I only had so many shades of blue, I've actually had to combine a couple of symbols together, because originally this dress is charted with about 7 shades of the ecru creams and tans in the original picture. And so I had picked out 7 shades of blue, but I ended up tossing out the 2 lightest. So now I'm working with only 5 shades of blue, plus I added black. So I've had to combine a couple of symbols. I don't think it's gonna affect it too much. The symbols that I'm combining there's not a ton of stitches in those colors, so I'm hoping it won't matter, but I mean, I've started the conversion, and I like this color so much better, so I'm glad I took the time to frog it all out. As painful as it was, I'm glad I did it. So actually, holding it back here, that's a little more true to color. Anyway, you'll just have to trust me. You'll just have to take my word on it. Oh, needle minder. Weasley is our king. This needle minder's from Lindy Stitches. Stephanie. Hey, Steph. So that's that. So those were my Stitch Mania starts. And that's what I have done on them so far. The only other whip that I worked on so far this month I did pull out Long May She Wave by Barbara Anna Designs a little bit, and I got some more done on this one. So you can see I finished Uncle Sam, I finished the crow, I finished this flag, which this flag is enormous, and I got really tired of stitching red and white stripes after a while, but it's done. And then I went down, and you can see I have Long May, and then I started the patriotic bunting at the bottom. So this one, it's funny, there's like little snowflake looking things, but they're really hard to see on camera. They actually show up much better in real life, but on camera they just totally blend in with the fabric. You'll just have to trust me when I say that I can actually see them in real life. But anyway, loving this one. This is my first foray into a prim style, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's really pretty, and it's, you know, Americana themed, as I'm reading Thomas Paine's Common Sense. Guys, I'm such a nerd. Okay, so those are all my whips for the first half of May. Let's talk about the lovely experience I had with my giveaway. So if you saw my last video, I announced the giveaway winner, and it was Julie Connell. And if you don't know, Julie owns the small business Nifty Needle Nannies on Facebook, and I'm sure you've seen her needle minders in lots of other people's videos. She does a beautiful job, and I thought it was so fun for me that she won the giveaway, because, you know, she does a lot of stuff with needle minders, but I don't know that she gets stuff that's cross. I don't know. I just thought it was really fun. She does such a wonderful job, and she provides such beautiful things to stitchers that it was kind of nice for her to get something back. Does that make sense? I know she sells them and she makes a little bit of money off of them, but you know what I mean. I was really tickled that she won in the random number generator. So I sent off her package. She contacted me and I sent off her package, and in our communicating back and forth, she mentioned that as a thank you for winning her giveaway, she wanted to send me a needle minder, which I thought was very sweet and totally unnecessary. She won my giveaway and she wanted to send me something. But of course, I love her needle minder, so I said, of course, I'd love that. You're very sweet. I'd love it. She asked me what I would want, you know, invited me to go to her Facebook page, which I'm a member of, and pick one out. And I said, you know what, this is your gift to me, so why don't you pick something? And I kind of gave her some ideas of what I like. I told her I love Harry Potter, I like Doctor Who, I'm kind of nerdy. So why don't you pick the needle minder? And she said, all right, I'll do that. So a few days later, she messaged me to tell me that she had sent it off, and I received the package. And I feel like such a dork because she included a little card. Ooh, she included a little card with her package. And I'm not going to read it to you because it's personal, but she wrote me in the lovely little note. And guys, she didn't send me a needle minder. She sent me 3. And I got a little choked up. My eyes got a little misty when I was reading her note, because she picked each of these 3 needle minders just for me for like a reason. And I was so touched because obviously she's been watching my videos. She knows a little bit about me. And so she like picked these out especially for me. And so Julie, I hope you don't mind. I'm not going to read your note, but I am going to show them what you sent me because I thought it was so sweet and so thoughtful and just, she's a lovely lady. You guys know that. She's a doll. So she sent me some needle minders. She sent me 3. I'm going to send you a needle minder. Liar. The first one she sent me, this is the cutest ever. She sent me a ballerina bell. And she's all sparkly. And the reason she sent me the ballerina bell is she said because I'm a dancer, she knows I do ballet, and because I have dark hair, and she says that my personality reminds her of Belle, which is incredibly flattering, and I'm not sure how true that is, but I mean, look at her. This is a little sparkly ballerina bell, and Julie, the next one she sent me is this little pink rose, and she sent me this one because of my rose garden sampler that I started for Stitch Mania. She knew that I was starting the rose garden, and she thought, you know what, I'm going to send you a little pink rose to go with your rose garden sampler. So that's the second one she sent me. And then the third one, she knows that I love Harry Potter and that I'm working on my giant Harry Potter sampler. And so she sent me a Hogwarts crest, specifically to put on my giant Harry Potter sampler. So those are the needle minders that Julie sent me, and I am an emotional person, and I was so touched that my eyes misted up a little. Got a little misty, and I'm just so deeply touched. Julie, you are the sweetest person ever, and I can't believe how thoughtful you were in picking those out just for me. I put them back on the card to show you guys, but I have actually been using these on some of my projects. So Nifty Needle Nannies, go check her out on Facebook. In all of our conversations and stuff, I've spent a lot of time perusing her Facebook page, and I have actually ordered a few more of her needle minders. Want to support the small business and, you know, say thank you in that way. So I have a few more Nifty Needle Nannies minders coming my way. They're not here yet, but in my next video I'll show you the ones that I picked out and purchased myself. But these were a gift from Julie, and just the sweetest ever. So my first experience with having a giveaway on my channel blew my mind. And they might not all be like that, but I was just, it was so sweet. Okay, enough about that. Julie, you're awesome. Okay, moving on. The only other haul I have this month, there's not a lot of Stitchy haul. I did finally break down and buy the big double-sided DMC bobbin case from Joann's. They were having a major sale on all their plastic storage, so I got it for like half off. This is all of my DMC. And it fits. I don't have a complete set. I'm pretty close to having a complete set, but I don't think this will hold a totally complete set of DMC, but I don't have any immediate plans to go out and purchase a complete set. So this is great. I love that every time I sit down to stitch, I can just grab this and have every color. I don't have to be looking through like 4 or 5 boxes like I did before. So that was a little bit of a haul. Another thing that I found that is stitching related, I have my first thrift store rescue. I was in our local thrift store and I found this cross stitch in our thrift store and I rescued it. It was $3 and I love it. I love it. I think it's really pretty actually. It's, I don't know what the pattern is. I've never seen it before, but it says, "Our home is your home." And it looks like this. Has little pineapple and some little houses and trees and this pretty border all the way around. And I think this is lovely. I think it's so pretty. So I rescued it. You can see it's been professionally framed. I mean, really nice frame job. And obviously it was well framed because this was stitched by LLM, whoever that is, October 15th. Does that say October? Oh, October 12th. I'm reading it backwards. October 12th of 1985. So this is like 30 years old. This is a little older than I am. Not by much, but a little. So I rescued this from the thrift store. Our home is your home. And I brought it home and I hung it on the wall, and I think it's beautiful. The frame has seen better days. It's kind of separating up here and there's a couple bumps and scratches, but all in all, the frame job looks pretty good. It looks like the project inside may have shifted a tiny bit. It's not entirely even with that matting all the way around, but it's pretty good considering this is 30 years old. So I love it. I'm so happy I found a thrift store rescue, my very first one. So that's a little bit of haul, and that's been hanging on my wall ever since, and I'm loving it on behalf of LLM, whoever they are. The last thing I want to show you, guys, I went a little crazy with my sewing machine this month. I have just been on a sewing kick, and it's been a long time since I've sewn stuff. You guys saw that I added all this fabric to all of my whips to put my Q-snap, and it's working really well. I love it. It's such a brilliant idea. And so I've been doing that, and then I made some stuff for my stitching. I made 2 grime guards. And they're in this pretty like purpley blue. These are both to fit an 8x8 Q-snap because I have 2 of those, and that's the size I use for like 95% of my projects. It's small and light enough that I can hold it with one hand because I hold my frames while I stitch. I don't have a stand. I do have an 11x11 Q-snap, but it's too heavy. After a while, my hand gets tired and it hurts my wrist. So I use my 8x8s for just about everything, and so I have 2 of them. So I made 2 grime guards to go on them, and I don't know why I waited so long to make grime guards because it is a game changer. For the longest time, I was just using like little hair clips to hold all the extra fabric. Grime guards, ladies and gentlemen. I followed Trisha, the left-handed stitcher's tutorial on making them. It was super easy. If you know how to if you know how to sew a straight line, you can make grime guards. So if you want to make grime guards, go check out her tutorial. They were really fun, and I was excited to have them. And then I kept sewing, and I undertook a wild and crazy project. I have been seeing, you just saw a little preview. I have been seeing so many people showing their project bags that they have purchased from various sellers on Etsy. There's a number of people who make them. I know So Much to Love is one of them. And I loved the ones from So Much to Love. I've seen a lot of them on people's videos. And so I was thinking, well, maybe I'm going to get a project bag. They're a little pricey for me. Just my point in life right now. My husband's a full-time student. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have the budget to spend that on a project bag, as beautiful as they are, and they really are. They're very professionally done. They're gorgeous. So those of you who have them, I know she's fabulous. Her project bags are great, but I just don't have that kind of money lying around to spend on a project bag. So I was thinking, well, I really want one. I really want it, and I could make that. I think I could make that. So without any pattern at all, I made a project bag. And I modeled it kind of on hers. It's not exact, and it's nowhere near as professionally done as hers, but I made a project bag. I just went to Joann's and found some cute fabric. It has little butterflies, and I got a zipper and some coordinating fabric, and I made a project bag. It zips, and it's lined with another fabric. You can see here, I didn't finish this raw edge. I learned some things along the way. But this is my first one, so it is just for me, so who cares? It's lined with a dark blue, and it zips up. And I made it big enough to fit an 8x8 Q-snap with a project on it, with extra fabric, as well as big enough to fit the patterns. A lot of patterns come in like this one, come in this bigger size. Prairie Schooler patterns are that size, Sue Hillis magazines. I know Victoria's Sampler patterns are kind of the bigger pattern, and most of them are 8.5 by 11. So I wanted the project bag to be big enough to fit the pattern inside and an 8x8 Q-snap and any other things I wanted to throw in there without like bending the pattern, like have it be big enough to be able to slide the pattern in easily. And so I made it in an 11 by 14 size, and I love it. I love it. It is so cute and it is so pretty, and it keeps them, you know, dust free. It keeps them out of the sunlight so the colors don't fade, and they're pretty to look at. They're so much prettier than like a Ziploc bag, which I've been using for years now. This is so much prettier. So I went a little crazy and I liked this one so much that I made myself 3 more. Guys, I've been on a sewing rampage. So I made 3 more and I'm going to show them to you. Obviously, like I said, from this first one, I learned some things and I kind of improved my process. I liked this, but I wanted this piece to be just a hair wider. It just felt a little too narrow. So I made it a little wider, and I figured out how to finish all the seams on the inside so there are no raw edges. But this is the second one I made. And it has a yellow zipper, and inside it has a yellow lining. And so I made that one, and that's like a beautiful paisley floral kind of Indian style print, very colorful, and I love it. That was number 2 that I made. Number 3, I'm having way too much fun with this. I made Keep Calm and Craft On. How appropriate is that? You can see the crown and the words are kind of a little bit shimmery, and it's just this beautiful pink floral. The pink zipper and a green top, and the inside is just a nice pink polka dot. So I made that one, and these, I've taken all the projects out, but these are all holding projects of mine now. And the last one I made is for the nerd in me, and those of you who are fans of Doctor Who will probably die when you see this, but I made a Doctor Who one. I found a TARDIS fabric, and it's got the TARDIS, and it has words. It says things like, not so much where, more when. It says TARDIS, the TARDIS, time and relative dimension in space. It's bigger on the inside, the blue box. I drive a time machine. It's got all kinds of words like that. And a green zipper, and then the space fabric, because it's Doctor Who. And then the inside is lined with this lime green swirl. So I made a Doctor Who one. I've been having way too much fun with my sewing machine. So here's the deal. This is where my possible business venture comes into play. I'm considering making these to sell. Okay, they're not hard to make. If you know how to sew, you're probably watching. Ooh, sorry, my needles. They're not hard to make if you're watching me sew. Oh, the mailman's here. She's gonna think I'm a crazy person talking to myself. Hang on just a second. So sorry about that. The mail lady came and I didn't want her to think I was a lunatic who sits here and talks to myself, which I am. But she doesn't have to know that. I'm considering making these to sell. And the reason is this. They're really fun for me to make. And I was gonna say, those of you who are watching this who know how to sew are probably thinking, well, I could make that myself. Yes, you could. Go do it. They're really not hard. But I know there's a lot of stitchers out there who don't feel super confident using a sewing machine and maybe don't have the time or the inclination to sit down and make these themselves. And so I'm possibly considering making these to sell. Mine are not nearly as professional as some of them out there. I mean, I don't have a serger, so I'll show you, my raw edges, I finish with a zigzag, which works perfectly well. It's not gonna fray, but it doesn't look quite as pretty. I consider myself a very competent seamstress, but I'm not a professional. So just, that's my disclaimer. But I can make these a little bit cheaper than you can buy them from a lot of those other sellers. And I know there's gotta be other people like me who just, as beautiful and professional as those are, I can't afford, $34 for a project bag. It's just not realistic for me. And so I am thinking that I can make these and sell them for about $15. And that covers the materials and my time and all of that. And so when I was buying fabric for the ones I made for myself, there was enough fabric for me to make one more in each of those color themes, but a little bit different. So I'm going to show them to you here, and I'm going to talk about how, if you want to purchase these, how to do it. This is the first one, and it's that colorful floral, but this one I just swapped the border and the lining material. So this one has a yellow border with a purple zipper, and then the lining inside is the purple polka dot, okay? So that's the first one, if you want to buy it. This is all very exploratory, guys. I'm not totally convinced I'm going to do this, but we'll see what the response is. I just had extra fabric from making my own, so I just went for it. The next one is the Keep Calm and Craft On. This one has the pink polka dot border. It has a green zipper, and then the inside is the green fabric, okay? That's the Keep Calm and Craft On. And then the last one, this one is, I had a hard time picking which of the Doctor Who ones I liked better. This is the Doctor Who fabric, the TARDIS. It has a purple zipper, the green fabric, and this is my favorite part. It's lined with space. Because it's the TARDIS. I love this. I think it's so fun that the lining is the space fabric. Anyway, so there's the Doctor Who. So I have 3 of these. I don't need the same fabrics. You know, I already have one of each of these in my own collection now, and I have these 3. So here's the deal, guys. If you want to buy one of these from me, leave a comment below. They're $15 plus shipping. And shipping, I mean, because I don't line mine with batting. I know some people have batting in between the layers. I haven't done that. It's just fabric. So they're very, very foldable, okay? So I can fold these up pretty compactly. They're very lightweight. So I think shipping for these won't be more than $2 or $3. We'll figure that out when it comes time to ship. But if you want to purchase one of these, they're $15. Leave a comment down below, and we'll just do this first come, first serve, I guess. If you are the first person to claim, leave a comment with which one you want, or if you want all of them, or 2 of them, or whatever you want. And if you are the first person to claim it, I will respond to your comment and tell you so. I will respond to your comment and say, congratulations, you're the first person to claim it. Send me your information. I'll leave my my email, yellowhousecrafts@gmail.com, down below with all the details. You'll send me your shipping information, your shipping address, and your PayPal email. And I will make an invoice on PayPal and email it to you. Once you pay your invoice through PayPal, I'll ship it off to you. That seems to be how most people do it. I know that's how Julie does it at Nifty Needle Nannies. It seems to work really well. So this is just an experiment. We'll see what the response is. If nobody wants these, I promise I'm not going to be offended. It will not hurt my feelings if nobody wants to buy these. I'll just hold on to them. I'll include them in maybe future giveaways or something. It's really okay. But since I have them, I thought I'd offer them to you other stitchers. If you do want them, but you're too late because they've already all sold, please tell me down in the comments. Please tell me that you're interested in seeing more of these. I can make more of them, and I can take requests. If you're a big Disney fan and you want a specific Disney princess one, tell me down below. And I'm going to take this into serious consideration because these were so fun to make. I really enjoyed it. I think they're really pretty. I'd consider making them in other sizes too. I don't know that I'd go any smaller than this because I'd worry about the patterns. But if you want one that fits an 11 by 11 Q-snap or even an 11 by 17, I know a lot of people like to do their heids on 11 by 17, I could make bigger ones to fit an 11 by 17, Q-snap. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what you're interested in, if this is something you'd consider buying, and also tell me if you think $15 is a fair price. Fabric's not cheap. And those of you who are quilters are rolling your eyes and nodding your head. Fabric's not inexpensive. And even with sales and using coupons, $15 is about as low as I can go and still pay myself, not a lot, pay myself a few dollars for my time. I mean, most of that $15 goes just towards the materials. The fabrics, the zippers, the thread, all of that. So I don't know. I never considered doing a small business like this before. I don't think I'm going to run out and make an Etsy store. If there's a good response and people want more of these, I will probably do something the way that Julie does, or some of these other needle minder companies where you make a Facebook page and I'll just post bags as they get finished and people can claim them, and we'll do it that way. But this is really just an experiment. I just had so much fun making these that I couldn't stop. I made 7 bags in 4 days. I have the 4 that I made for myself, And then I had these 3 because I had this extra fabric, and I thought, what the heck, I'm having a ball. I'm just gonna keep making project bags. So we shall see. As I said before, disclaimer, they're not professional. Like I said, I consider myself a good seamstress, a good sewer. I've made my own clothing before. I'm pretty competent, but I don't have a serger and I'm not a professional. So just bear that in mind. But also, my prices are the prices I'm considering are a lot lower. So maybe it's worth it to some of you. I don't know. I'm rambling about that enough. So that's that. I'll leave the details in the description box. If you want to buy them, great. If nobody's interested, that's okay too. This is really just an experiment. I think that's all I have to show you guys today. I hope you're all having fun with Stitch Mania if you're still going at it. Oh, plans. My plans for the rest of May are just to keep working on the things I started. I'm just going to keep, I need to finish my Brooks Books Advent Animals by the end of the month, and then with whatever time I have left over, I'll keep working on other whips. I'm basically going to work on whatever strikes my fancy for the rest of the month of May, because in June I'm participating in Wine and Whips with Stitch Mania, where you pull out some of your more neglected pieces. And I have a few whips that have been sitting in cold storage for years in some circumstances, and I really want to pull those out. So that's kind of my plan for the month of June. So for the rest of May, I'm just going to do whatever I feel like, and then put all that stuff away for Wine and Whips in June. I don't have much else to tell you. I hope you're all healthy and safe and well, and those of you who are suffering from numerous natural disasters, whether it's fires up in Canada or massive, terrible rain and hail storms down in the south of the United States, I hope you're all well. I hope you're all safe. My prayers are with you if you've been struggling with those things. But I hope you're finding time to stitch and taking comfort in your stitching, because I know it comforts me. I think that's it, everyone. Happy stitching. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you really soon with my next video, okay? Take care. Bye!